So Colombia had a fairly disastrous international break, losing 2-1 to Croatia and 3-1 to France. Here's what I tried to glean from those results and those performances. In goal, there's still a problem there, I think. Both Montero and Vargas made fairly obvious errors. There's not a clear number one. It's a real bone of contention, I think, in the side and amongst the fan base. At right back, Daniel Munoz is clearly the starting right back, but he's in terrible form, doesn't look quite fit, doesn't have that energy and aggression, isn't getting up and down and contributing at both ends of the pitch. Got to find a way to get him ready for the tournament. Santi Arias is an able deputy, but I don't think he needs to be starting against the top sides. I think you really need Munoz at his best if Colombia are going to perform at the tournament. At left back, Mojica played. I don't think anybody's really convinced by him these days. I think we need an alternative to him. I think the one we haven't tried maybe is to play Cabal there at left back. I'd like to see that tried. Meaning at centre back, I think Davinson Sanchez was one of the only players that did okay over the international break. I think he's a lock to start at centre back. His partner may be up in the air. I'd still go with John Lukumi, but I thought they struggled when they played together, which was worrying from a Colombia perspective. In midfield, another player who was solid is Jefferson Lerma. He's obviously the starting central midfielder. Who does he play with? I thought Puerta came in and played really well, but I'm not sure he fits the balance of the team as Lorenzo normally sets them up, which is an issue because he was one of the few players that had a bit of connectivity in his game, was able to move the ball forwards and be tenacious in defence, but also get involved in the build-up. Richard Rios has been a good player for Colombia, but has struggled of late. I don't think he covered himself in glory. I really wish Deosa had had a chance to play in these games. I think he is a different option in midfield and the kind of player that we're missing there. At the 10, again, it's all up in the air. Juanfer Quintero came on and did well on occasion. James clearly massively out of fitness and thus form. But I think, again, he needs to play and be at his best if Colombia are going to do their best in the tournament. So we need him fit and firing, and Quintero probably as his backup or maybe to play against some of the lesser teams. In midfield as well, I think Jean Arias is a lock. He was by far the best player for Colombia across both games. He played brilliantly. It's great to see him back in form. I hope he is able to start games for Colombia from now on. Lucho Diaz, also not his best couple of games, but tried his best, got involved. He'll obviously be starting for Colombia. The other spot, which we thought maybe was fixed with the emergence of Luis Javier Suarez, is the centre forward role. Suarez really struggled. If he's not scoring goals, and he missed an absolute sitter, if he's not scoring goals, he seems to bring very little. He doesn't work off the ball in defence as Borré does. He can't hold the ball up like John Cordoba does. He's really there to stick it in the back of the net. And if he's not doing that and we're not getting the supply to him, it's really hard for him to impact the game at all. Cordoba does impact the game more, but he is not a prolific goal scorer at the top level. I just don't feel he's good enough to be starting for Colombia. So I think we need another option at striker. Again, that's why I wish Cucho Hernandez had gone to these games and had a chance. I think he is a goal-scoring striker who maybe offers a bit more in the link-up to Suarez. The other option, I think, is to play Luis Diaz as a false nine and perhaps bring someone else on in the wing like Carbonero to offer some pace. I think that's an option that needs to be tried and hasn't been, which is Lucho in the false nine. I think especially against top sides where you might need to pack the midfield a bit more, that could be a really good option. And the only other striking option that, again, hasn't been explored recently for quite obvious reasons is John Duran. He is, I think, the best number 9 Colombia have, and it's a real pity if they can't find a way to integrate him, but that may just not be possible. A lot of questions raised, not a lot of answers found. I've seen some fans trying to find some positives out of these games, and I applaud that. I was pretty down after both results. I just hope this is a chance to learn, maybe tweak the squad, tweak some of the tactics and formations. Conditions might be different at the World Cup, opposition might be different at the World Cup. My big worry actually from all of it is Nestor Lorenzo as coach. I just didn't see the logic in some of the selections and the rotations, and I don't see the flexibility and intelligence of formation and different systems to combat different opposition. I'm all for playing your game and playing to your strengths, but that is clearly not working for Colombia at the moment, at least against the recent opposition. So I think there needs to be more tactical ingenuity, and I just don't quite see it. I think we need a system where we're playing without a 10, without either James or Quintero. I think we might need a system where we have a false nine. We might need a system where it's either a back five, although I don't think I'm a fan of that option, or possibly a more packed midfield. I just saw a lot of kind of like for like substitutions, substitutions by numbers. I didn't see an ability to impact the game in game and change tactics. Some of the personnel changes helped, and people like Puerta coming in gave a bit more intensity. Cordoba at least got more involved than Suarez managed to. But overall, I wasn't massively heartened. Fingers crossed things improve before the World Cup.